Section 4. Setting up API. In this section, we will learn how to create a backend application with Express.js. We will install Express Server and use our front-end application to hit a register endpoint. Then we will set up a database for our Vue project and install SQLite and SQLite 3 on our Express Server. We will also get familiar with the REST clients like Postman to test our endpoints and our server Express.js APIs. In the end of this section, we will finish our signup module, in which we will allow users to sign up from the front-end application, and our Express.js will generate a JWT token for the front-end to use for validation purposes. In this video, we will be putting together the sample API code and add it to our front-end application. To achieve that, we will first have to install an Express server. Express is a minimal and flexible Node.js web application framework that provides a robust set of features for web and mobile applications. It also provides HTTP utility methods and middleware at your disposal for creating a robust API. So let's go ahead and start with the installation of Express Server. In our playlist project, I will create a server directory. Now use the npm init command to create a package.json file for your application. Now install Express in the server directory and save it in the dependencies list by typing npm install express -- save. Now let's open this in our code editor. Under server, create a new directory named src. In src, create a new app.js file. Now that we have Express installed, we can run a sample Hello World application. In this example, I am first importing an Express module. Then I am initializing this Express module, assigning it to a constant variable app. Then I am defining a default port with the value 3000. After that, I am giving the Express app an endpoint, which on request will respond with a hello world. After that, I am starting my application to start listening on a port 3000. Let's go ahead and execute this application. From the terminal, I can start my app by typing node and the path of my app.js file. As you can see, it states that my app is listening on port 3000. Let's go to the browser and see how it looks. It prints hello world. Now let's go ahead and create a post register endpoint that our front-end Vue.js application can access. To do that, I will have to install a couple of additional modules. From my terminal, I will install body parser, cores, and Morgan modules by typing npm install -- save body parser, cores, and Morgan. Once these packages are installed, we can import them in our code. So here I have imported a body parser module, cores module, and a Morgan module. Morgan is a console logging framework for route requests. For example, it will show type of request to what route, status code, and time to respond whenever an endpoint got hit on an Express server. Body parser passes data coming from an AJAX request. For example, if the frontend made an AJAX request with an email and password, the body parser allows us to access these parameters on the backend in the Express route handler callback function via request.body.email and request.body.password. And lastly, cores. Cores stand for cross-origin resource sharing. Cores break the rule that one domain shouldn't be talking to another domain. For example, in this case, we will allow the front end that is running on the port 8080 to be able to talk to the backend on a port 3000 After that, I'm telling app to use these modules. After that, I am creating a post endpoint register, and upon request received, I am sending a response with the message success. Now let's go to our client app and see if we can access this from the register page that we created in the last video. Under the src directory, I will create a new directory called services. Now I will create an api.js file. Here on the client frontend, I will be using Axios to communicate with the Express Server API. So let's go ahead to our terminal and install Axios first. In the client directory, I will install Axios by typing npm install --save Axios. Once the package is installed, I can import it in my code. In this file, I am importing Axios module, and then I'm initiating an Axios instance. After that, I'm exporting the instance. Let's go ahead and create an authentication script file. First, I will import the API service file, and then I will export a default function that will be hitting the register endpoint that the Express server is serving. Here I am exporting default register method that receives credentials as a parameter and returns the response from the API that is requested on the post register endpoint. Now we can utilize this register function in our signup component. In our signup component, make sure that our input fields are named properly for email and password. In our script section, let's create a data default return for email and password. Now here I will use a Vue-model directive to make the two-way binding for updating the email and password. Now on the register button, I would like to add click listener that will execute a method once the register button is clicked. Now let's go and create this register method. In this register method, I would like to hit the authentication service register endpoint. To use the auth service register endpoint, I will first have to import the auth service. The auth service will return some response data, so let's collect that as well. We will wait for the auth service to finish by using await. I would also like to log the response that we are getting. Now let's go ahead and start our client server. Go ahead and also start the Express server. We can access our Vue.js application on port 8080. On clicking register, I can see in the console the response from the server message success. This verifies that we are sending a post request to the Express server and receiving a response message. That is it for this video.